Jayden Cross was 23 when he stood in line, cap in hand, waiting to shake the dean's hand. A new graduate free at last. Behind him, the murmurs of celebration. Ahead of him, the uncertain stretch of adulthood. He had a plan, or so he thought. His degree in media and communications was barely a week old when he landed his first job, a junior content coordinator at a digital agency in the city. It wasn't flashy, but it was full-time. And to Jayden, full-time meant full freedom. The first paycheck hit his account like a lottery win. Jayden upgraded his phone, signed a lease on a trendy downtown apartment, bought a leather couch he didn't need, and ordered Thai food 3 nights in a row. It all felt like the beginning of something great. But beginnings are often deceiving. 2 months in, the glow began to dim. Jayden stared at his banking app in disbelief. Overdraft again, rent was due in 5 days. His credit card balance had doubled. And yet he couldn't remember spending that much. He reached for the half-eaten sushi roll beside his laptop and sighed. Maya would have something to say about this. Maya had been his closest friend since sophomore year. Practical, methodical, and calm. She budgeted her student loans, tracked every expense, and kept a spreadsheet that Jayden once teased her about. Now he wished he'd paid attention. "Are you okay?" she asked when he called. There was a pause. "I don't think so," Jayden admitted. She didn't say, "I told you so." She just showed up. That weekend, she brought over 2 iced coffees and her old budgeting template. They sat at the kitchen table, Jayden's glossy marble one that he'd bought to feel like an executive. "Let's list your expenses," Maya said. Jayden sighed. "Where do we start?" They started with rent. Then utilities. Subscriptions, food, coffee, clothes, Ubers, takeout, and drinks. The numbers told a story Jayden didn't want to read. "You're not broke," Maya said softly. "You're just bleeding money on things that don't matter." Jayden nodded. He hated how true it was. Over the next week, they worked on a plan. Maya introduced him to the 50/30/20 rule. 50% on needs, 30% on wants, 20% into savings. It felt restrictive at first. Jayden had never told himself no. But soon it felt like breathing room. He canceled 3 unused subscriptions, stopped taking Ubers everywhere, and learned to cook. Sort of. Maya helped him build an Excel tracker. He color-coded it. Something about that made it feel like a video game. For the first time, Jayden could see his money clearly. 3 months passed. Jayden had a rhythm now. He cooked twice a week, budgeted Sundays, and even declined a night out when it wasn't in his plan. Then his laptop died. The screen flickered black during a work Zoom. It was dead. For a moment, Jayden panicked. But then he remembered his savings. 3 months of small deposits had grown into an $1,000 emergency fund. He bought a modest refurbished laptop, paid in cash, and felt a surge of pride. That was the day he understood. An emergency fund isn't just for disasters. It's for independence. But growth is never linear. With his new routine came new confidence and then a raise. A small promotion at work bumped his salary by $4,000 a year. It wasn't much, but it felt huge. He celebrated with dinner at a rooftop bar and a new smartwatch. Then new clothes. Then more takeout. Within 2 pay cycles, his credit card was climbing again. He wasn't panicking yet. But something felt off. He was earning more but saving less. He called Ava. Ava was his older cousin. Once known for overspending, now practically a financial guru. She'd once maxed out 5 credit cards and learned her lesson the hard way. Since then, she'd paid off all her debt, bought a used car in cash, and built a 5-figure emergency fund. Jayden told her everything. Ava didn't flinch. "This happens to everyone. It's called lifestyle inflation. You earn more, so you spend more. Most people never notice it until they're in a hole again." Jayden frowned. "I thought more money meant less stress." "It can," she said. "But only if you choose where it goes." That night, Jayden sat at his budget spreadsheet. He adjusted everything. Set savings first. Moved the wants to the bottom. Started transferring money into a savings account before he spent $1. Felt like taking control back. His spending dropped. His credit card shrank. He started tracking his credit score. Reading about utilization. Keeping his balance below 30%. Paying in full when possible. And slowly it started to rise. 6 months in, things began to change. Jayden no longer craved the dopamine of shopping. He enjoyed quiet weekends with books and dollar tacos. He picked up freelance design work from a friend at the agency, his first real side hustle. The extra money went into savings. His emergency fund grew past $1,500. Then tax season hit. Jayden panicked again. He'd forgotten about freelance income taxes. But Ava walked him through it. He paid what he owed. It hurt, but not as much as it could have. Because now he had margin. One Saturday, Maya called him in tears. Her car broke down. She hadn't built her emergency fund back up after moving apartments. Jayden didn't hesitate. He drove across town, helped her get to a mechanic, and offered her a short-term loan with no strings. "You're my emergency fund today," she joked. He smiled. That's what friends do. Spring came. Then summer again. Jayden turned 24 with a cake from the corner bakery and a $2,000 buffer in savings. He still lived in the same apartment. Still used the same cracked phone. But now he walked taller. His boss asked him to mentor a new intern, a nervous kid named Reggie. Reggie reminded him of himself, eager, creative, and financially lost. Over lunch one day, Reggie mentioned that he'd blown through half his paycheck on sneakers and didn't know how he'd pay rent. Jayden chuckled. "I used to be you," he said. "Want to see something that saved me?" He pulled up the budget template on his phone. The same one Maya had given him a year ago. By now it had evolved. More categories, better tracking, even some investing goals. Reggie looked impressed. "I didn't know people our age did this." Jayden smiled. "Most don't. But that's why we should." Later that night, Jayden sat on his couch, sipping tea instead of wine, and wrote in his journal. Lesson 1. Budgeting is giving your money a job. Lesson 2. An emergency fund is freedom disguised as discipline. Lesson 3. Every raise is a test of who you want to become. Lesson 4. Credit is a tool. Use it wisely or it'll use you. He put the journal down and turned off the light. For the first time in a long time, he wasn't worried about the next paycheck. He was building something, slowly, quietly, intentionally. Jayden Cross wasn't broke anymore. He was becoming someone new. And that's what we believe in here. Because on this channel we don't just teach finance. We tell stories that make it real. Because numbers don't change lives. Choices do. And behind every good choice, there's a better story.